What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another PGA Tour schedule video. Actually a little bit of a different one, this one and the next one, because we're kind of doing a twofer for the PGA Tour schedule. This is one of those weeks where there's two events scheduled for the same exact time. In the past, when that's happened, usually I just pick the more well-known tournament with the bigger purse. But this one is kind of a well-known course, so I'm deciding to do both of them. I'm doing this one, which is Keene Golf Club, same name within GSPro. I had it written down as the Champions course. This was only the option here in GSPro, so hopefully it's the same course. This is the home of the Kentucky Championship, going on from July 11th to July 14th in Nicholsville, Kentucky. This is also going to be going on at the same exact time as the Genesis Scottish Open at the Renaissance Club, so I'm planning on playing this one first. If I get all my scheduling and all my on-course videos and everything else edited and scheduled correctly, I'll release this Keene Trace one on Wednesday, and then Friday will be the Renaissance Club, if the weather holds out, because we had very severe thunderstorms come through last night, and there's supposed to be more starting later this afternoon in about 3 hours or so. So if I can get going here and play this and hopefully not get rained on, it'll be good. But the schedule's pretty full the next couple of days, so today was the only day to be out here. A little bit of a force, kind of a hairy situation, 50-50 chance that I may get rained on. If that happens, I'll have to shut it down early, but let's see if we can get through this. Did a pretty abbreviated warm-up, swing felt all right, but for the rundown, everything's linked down below in the description. Check out those Amazon links for any of these items, or just your regular Amazon shopping. Great way to support the channel at no additional cost. Garmin Approach R10, kind of the brains of the operation, besides GSPro behind me on a DIY level stand. Country Club Elite mat, Callaway super fast ball that I've been using for a couple rounds. This thing's seen better days. All those flop shots with those milled forged wedges that I got are just tearing the cover right off of that, but we'll see if this lasts. DIY stance mat that's also seen some better days because it's pretty unlevel with some low spots, but 10x7 nets that are holding up good, and GSPro, like I mentioned, running on my gaming computer over here. So without further ado, Keene Trace Golf Club, home of the Kentucky Championship, July 11th to 14th. Let's see how we can do. Furthest back tees, doing the course recommended settings, which were normal greens and normal fairways. So as opposed to like firm, going to be a little bit less rollout in the fairways off the tee, but that will also mean that the greens for approach shots, they'll be able to stick and kind of stay a little bit better versus like concrete like PGA Tour greens. But take a look at this first hole flyover, which is a par 4 386 yard hole. As I get my tee this up, only hit what I hit about three or four 60s, hit a couple pitching wedges and then a couple 9s, and that was about it. So first driver swing, first few holes make it a little bit hairy, but we'll see. All right. As always, pretty amazing graphics. Looking forward to that one in Scotland coming up next, right after this one, if I don't get rained on. All right, let's get off to a decent start. Had to duck hook left. That was low off the heel, and I shut the face down on top of it. I was doing that last time too. I don't know. I was able to straighten it out throughout the last couple times playing here. Like after I got into the first couple rounds, or first couple holes into a round, I was able to straighten it out. I don't know if this may be still using the Speeder 757, I think it is, the stiff flex shaft in the driver. Possibly a little too whippy, which is why I'm losing things low and left. Maybe coming through, maybe I need to put the extra stiff back in there with the warmer weather, hot and humid, swing it a little bit quicker. I don't know, we'll see if that becomes an issue both continuously here and on course. Garmin had that at 104, 146 ball speed for such a bad miss. It's not horrendous, but leaves us with 153. It's going to come out a little bit right. We're on an upslope. The rough is 6%, which will be like 10 yards, I think. 10% would be 15. Yeah, so like 7, 8 yards or so. I think I'm gonna go 8 iron, and we're gonna go here and hit an 8. If we weren't in the rough, that would be a good 9 iron distance. If I really hit this one good, it may be too much, but should at least put us in the area. And then that 6% reduction in the rough, hopefully I calculated that right. Only thing I want to do, still seems like me locking out my left arm's been pretty good both here and my Florida trip. I like that. Helps with a little bit more consistency, line up to the ball every time and strike location. And then all I want to do is just, I felt last time I was getting too quick, kind of coming over the top, rushing my upper body. I just want to have the feeling of keeping my back more to the target in transition and downswing, and then come just a tad more from the inside, or just not as much, wasting energy over the top. But that's about it for swing thoughts. Mainly, I just don't want to get rained on, so. As someone commented a couple weeks ago, more golfy, less talky. Oh, that's very thin. Sit, 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 sit. Wow, did that stay inside the circle, just on the edge, par? That's lucky. I mean, definitely had the ball speed because I hit it so thin, but that was a low line drive. And my net situation with these zip ties, just, I guess this is my main strike location, just keeps popping the zip ties off here. That thing was caught up there, but I think the net still, it's a little bit sagging right now because it's still probably damp from the severe thunderstorms and rain we had yesterday. In any event, par on the first one, even through one. Second hole, par 3, 182. Take a look at the flyover. Gonna go 7 iron. Usually play it right in that neighborhood of about 180, 185 on a halfway decent strike. Again, still, I don't know what the temperature was. It's probably mid 80s right now, and it's very, very humid with all the thunderstorms. So definitely got a sweat going. It feels pretty moist, it's sticky out here, but should be able to swing it. I mean, my back feels and the body feels pretty good. Feels like I'm swinging things pretty quick. I just hit that 8 iron, allegedly from the Garmin, 91 mile an hour with the clubhead speed on an 8 iron, which I think is decent. But I'm anticipating, after a few holes here, maybe seeing some little bit more, maybe like an extra 5 or so yards on some of these clubs, just because I can swing it a bit quicker. But strike quality and location is paramount versus speed. Club face was open. That's gonna miss pretty far right. Had decent distance on it, swung it at about 94. I could just feel though coming through. Club face was open. I don't mind how I'm swinging right now. I don't hate it. I think I just need to correct that a little bit, keeping my back to the target, and maybe just focus on just having the club face just a little more shut on the takeaway. You see some of the pros practice some of that when before they hit a shot, they kind of practice their takeaway. I think I may need to do that just so I have the club face looking at the ball, club face a little more square versus kind of, I think I probably flip my hands in the backswing, which just opens it up. So keeping things a little more square should be able to strain things out just a little bit. But it's a problem, you got too many different swing thoughts going on in your head. You kind of just want to play and let the chips fall where they may, and not have 20 different swing thoughts going on while you're trying to, obviously this isn't a real round, but trying to play somewhat real golf. Leaves us with 27 out of the rough. Gonna hit a 60. We're kind of short-sided, so I'm just gonna open this up. It's gonna come out left, so we'll aim a little bit there. At least we're on an upslope. 27, 10% would be like 3, so it's gonna be, I mean, 28, 29 total. Probably gonna try to fly this about 25-ish. Oh, I sculled it. That's gonna be a bogey or a double. Double, yikes. Got lucky on the first one. That was no luck there, that was just a terrible wedge shot, but that's not ideal. Brings us to 2 over through 2. Third hole, par 4, 448. See if we can get one or two of those strokes back over the next few holes. That's tough. That was a very poor 60 degree there. Realistically, I was pretty lucky that I actually stayed on the green. Luckily, we were playing the normal green conditions. Real life, or if those were we were playing firm, that probably would have, I scolded that pretty bad. That would have ran off the back. A little bit of a narrow landing spot here. We're gonna go here. I'm still trying to play the fade. Try to aim slightly like left center up the fairway, but we'll have to see if I snap duck hook some more. That was better. Still might draw, and it is, but at least that was hit more solid. 149 ball speed, 101, probably roll right into the bunker, and it did, but that was pretty close to the center, just a tad heely. I don't hate that swing. And I mean, I wasn't trying to draw that, but a draw like that, I'd much rather have than overdoing the fade and have a high spinny one, lose it to the right, lose a ton of distance. So leaves us with 174 out of a fairway bunker up 11 yards. Fairway bunker is 5 to 10%. It's dynamic based on the lie. We're on a little bit of an upslope, so your guess is as good as mine whether it's going to be 5 or 10. I don't know also if the 10%, even if it's call it 10%, is it 10% of 174 or is it 10% of the 174 plus the 11, so 185. I think I'm gonna go 6 iron. Yeah, pin's kind of smallish green. Pin's there, so even if I hit the 6 really good and it's long, still should put us on. But I think the 6 iron is the right club. I don't think out of this sand I can get a 7 iron there. And who knows, if I don't hit the 6 iron great, we still may be short. A little bit thin. Hit halfway decent though. That should get there, and it did. All right, 169 it had it, but so it was 93%, or yeah, 93% speed. So it took 7% off, and then that was 11 yards on top of that. So I think it would be the 169 plus the 11 puts us up to 180 plus the 7%. So that was a little bit thin, but that sounds a little more accurate than 169 out of a 6 iron. Either way, take the par. 2 over through 3, 4th hole par 4, 4, 5, 6. Grab a drink quick, check the camera. Luckily it's so cloudy and overcast, there's not sun beating down. I think for the rest of the summer, I said it last time I was out here, I'm gonna have to come out kind of later in the afternoon just because of the sun's so bright. I don't want all these electronics to be in direct sunlight and overheat, possibly shut down midway through the round. But I know the trees are filling in, or mostly filled in. You guys probably can't see a ton of the sky, but it's just gray, overcast. But at least it's blocking some of the sun. All right. Like I said, I don't hate that last swing, but I was trying to play a little bit of a fade. This one, a little more open. So I guess we'll still go there. I'd rather miss it left into the rough than right into that bunker. So we'll go there. And it's down 13 yards, so this should help if I can actually hit one decent. Don't hate that. That's a nice little baby fade. 149 ball speed, 103. That should be decent. Still just a tad. That was a tad low in Healy, but that was still back to finally with the Sim 2 as opposed to that Stealth 2 peppering right around the middle of the club face, which is very, very welcome sign. Leaves us with 166. Do we have water to get over? We do. It's on a downslope, so that's going to kill some spin. It's going to have some rollout. May go a little bit further. 8 iron is the club, but if I don't hit it good, that could be wet. Problem is 7 iron, closer to 180 is going to be way too much. So, I mean, it is down about 2 yards. So, we're going to go with the 8. Hopefully I just hit it halfway decent. I am going to, for whatever reason, I can get, like that one was a nice baby fade, 3 spin axis, which is not the Garmin strong suit, but 1.4 out to in, allegedly, as the club path. It seems like I can be pretty neutral, if not have an actual in to out club path with my driver, and then it seems like, I don't know if it's estimated from the R10, but it seems like it goes from that, and then once I get into my irons, it goes like significantly from out to in. But 8 iron. Popped it up a little bit. It's gonna fade, but it wasn't hit terrible. That should at least be dry. Ooh, baby. Sit. Let's go. Take that. Maybe I didn't pop it up that much. Maybe it was just a pretty decent strike. It was an 8 iron, so you want to get it up in the air. Kind of tough to tell on the net. Obviously, seeing the ball flight in real life, you can actually tell kind of the apex of it. Felt like it got up a little bit, but I guess all in all, that's what we needed. Good shot. Brings us to 1 over through 4. 5th hole, par 5, 538. Oh, this is a cool looking hole. Pretty substantial dogleg right. Got that kind of wasteland short left off the tee. Don't read. I almost missed it. That was like a top. Luckily though, that was hit down here. What did we get out of that? Somehow we got 257. I don't know about that. Luckily, I mean, I swung it at 102. Somehow I got 143 ball speed out of that. That felt like a pretty horrendous miss hit. Kind of surprised I got that much ball speed out of that strike. But we're in play. Better to be lucky than good, as I always say. We're in the rough, 299 left. Sounds like a 3-wood to me. We got water up there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to hit it that far. On a good day, probably top out about. Problem is, everything's on my head covers. Everything's still wet out here. I don't have anywhere to put them. Try to aim for about 250 with this 3-wood on a good day, and I really smash one if it's sitting up. I mean, the rough's gonna kill some distance, but maybe 260, 265, probably top out about there. Like once in a blue moon type of strike, maybe 270, but 250 I think is probably a more realistic kind of benchmark to play towards and aim towards. Pulled it a little bit left, really. It started. Oh, I think we caught the tree. That wasn't hit. Oh, wow, it kicked it so far left. That's unfortunate. I hit that decent too. We got 143 ball speed out of that. Oh. That's a tough break. I heard the tree noise before it even went through. That's an unfortunate break, kicking it that far left. But luckily it's a par 5. We're in pine straw. Can't remember what this plays as. This looks like deep rough, but I think pine straw, did I write that down? I remember that came into play. I think it's pine straw is the same as the rough. I think it's going to be 6%. So 140. It's going to come out left, which I don't love because of those trees. And if I fade it, but we're going to have to aim here. I may miss the green if I overfade it to the right. 140, 10% would be 14, so like 7, 8. I'm just gonna hit a 9. Could probably take a little bit off it, but I'd rather, if I catch the tree, be up there. Usually play this 9 to about 150, 155. Popped it up. It's gonna fade, but oh, stay there. All right. Leaves us with 20 yards. So what are we? 1, 2 with the 3 wood. That was 3. We're hitting 4. Par 5. So we get this inside the inner circle. We save par on the green as a bogey. We're on an upslope. It's gonna come out left. Green. Look, if you look at those dots, sloping pretty hard from right to left. So we're gonna aim about here. 20 yards, up about a yard. I think I gotta carry it about 16, 17 maybe, as long as I don't scull it again. Should be decent, maybe a touch too much. Sit. All right, I'll take that for a par. That was at least in the ballpark of what I was trying to do with that 60 instead of a skull job. All right, sticking it 1 over. 6th hole, par 4, 426. Playing a little bit better today, and I'm trying to kind of speed things up because of the weather, so hopefully we're around an hour. I don't know if we'll be under, but some of the couple videos lately have been like an hour and 15 minutes just because I was playing not so hot, and there's so much more to factor in, and decision making, kind of numbers and the lies and everything else in between shots kind of slows things down a little bit compared to my old home tee hero rounds where I can kind of just right off the bat see a number and kind of hit it. All right, dogleg right. Let's see if we can get off the tee and find that something resembles the middle of the club face again. Hold it a little bit left. Hopefully it fades. It's staying left. That should be fine though. That was again, low heel strike. I think I gotta adjust the ball and align it more towards the toe. Just move that strike location a little more center wise. Not sure. That one, usually those heel strikes tend to start left and then fade back right. That could be a slight misread from the Garmin, but I mean, it was in the general area. I think that was probably, instead of a negative spin axis, probably would have been a positive spin axis to the right, but either way, that still probably would have caught the fairway no matter what. Leaves us with 162. Where's the pin? Pin's in the back. So I think that takes the 8-iron out of my hand, I think. I think I'm gonna have to hit a 9, at least just play to the middle fat part of the green. If I hit an 8 really good, that's off the back. So I think 9 irons the play here, and just hope that I get enough to get it on the green for a par. It's possible. I've hit a few into the 160s with the 9, but definitely don't play it towards that. Another kind of high pop up to the right. Nope. Hanging back on it. Been trying to do that with driver and it's been working out, but it's creeping into my other clubs. I gotta have more weight forward. I'm hanging back and presenting more loft, leaving the club face open. It's just a pop up. That type of swing should just hit the 8. All right, got to scramble though. 24 yards, up about a yard. It's gonna come out to the right. So we're gonna go here, and I think I gotta fly this 20, 21. somewhere in that area. A little bit of a clunky strike. I kind of drop kicked it. Tried to start it left and kind of just stayed there. Was that a bogey? I think we were 1 over. It brings us to 2 over. Still not terrible though. 2 over through 6. 7th hole, par 4, 4, 5, 1. That wasn't a terrible wedge shot. I kind of drop kicked it a little bit, started it left. I try to open up my stance, and because I have the club face so open, kind of aim myself left and kind of come across it. Usually has a little bit of a fade. Not really supposed to put a ton of shape on your wedge shots, but I think I just aimed too far to the left because of that. I gave the that lie that was to the right too much respect. Up 7 yards this time, so it's going to kill a little bit of distance. I don't hate that line there, so we'll leave that. That's left. It's not hit terribly, it's just something either in my setup or I'm just releasing my hands too much and it's shutting down the club face when I'm coming through, which is kind of the opposite of what I do on course. But 255 on that one. I mean, 147 ball speed, like I said, it's not hit terrible, it's just I'd like to be in the fairway and not have to deal with these reductions. Gonna aim here, it's gonna come out right, and this will probably fade 190, 6%, so 10% would be 19. So that's like 8, 9, 10 yards. It's like the upper end of a 6 or a 5. I guess we'll try the 6. Usually play it to 200-ish, but we need like all of that. Versus I could probably miss-hit the 5 a little bit, but we're gonna go 6 and try to get a good strike on this thing. Pretty decent strike. It's gonna fade, but we kind of accounted for that. Oh, we had the distance, just it was a bit of a heel strike too, which exaggerated it. Gotta keep my back just a little more towards the target, square that club face up a little bit better. Again, not a bad swing, I don't hate that, it's just that little bit of club path. I don't know if it's that much, had it 11 degrees, it probably was definitely in that direction. I don't know if it was quite 11, but leaves us with 25, up about a yard. It's gonna come out left, we're on a downslope out of a bunker. Yikes. So 25%, 10% would be 2.5, so like 5, 6 yards. That's 31 plus another yard, 32. Green sloping that way, we'll go there. I mean, I'm just gonna have to be, it's like a hidden hope with a 60. Try to launch this pretty high, have it come down soft. It may catch the lip because we're on a downslope in this bunker, but I'm gonna play this a little bit more forward because I have that extra netting up there. Really open this thing up and try to get this thing, play it off my front foot, get this thing up in the air pretty good. It's what I wanted. Hopefully it's not too much. Yep, too much. Exactly the shot I wanted, I just too much respect again. Happy with that though. That's a good miss, so to speak. Tough, you don't really like, these are the only time I'm really hitting those shots. I don't really hit that type of shot on the course. Leaves us with 9 yards. Gonna drop a stroke here. We're hitting 4. This is a par 4, so I gotta hold this. Not impossible, but probably unlikely. So we'll aim here, 9 yards. Gonna try to fly this about 6, so probably 3/4 of the way, close to the bottom of the net over there. Go. It was tracking. All right, dropped another stroke, up to 3 over through 7, 8th hole, par 5, 5-2-1. Feel decent about how I'm hitting it today and just in general lately, but this could be one of those rounds where it feels like I'm doing things pretty good, but it's just not 100% quite synced up, and the score may not reflect how I feel like I'm hitting it. But not that we don't have a terrible score going, 3 over through 7. I definitely get this back. Ooh, all right, we cannot miss this left. We are going over here, and I mean, there's kind of an opening over there. There's trees, but I'd much rather be in tree trouble than lose a stroke into the water. That's left. That could be trouble. Hopefully we aim far enough right. Luckily we did. Again, that was high heel. Realistically, swung it at almost 107 allegedly, which is probably into the teens. I think I say it pretty much every single round. I think the ball speed and the club speed numbers are a little bit low, but I mean, that's not terrible. 143 from that type of strike. Realistically, that would have snapped more left and that wouldn't have gone quite as far, but side spin again, not super strong suit of the R10. So let's get maybe not that risky. We'll aim for this bunker, and I'm gonna go 3-wood. As long as I get it over that start of the water and up towards that bunker, par 5, if we're hitting 3 in that bunker, we'll see. 255, unlikely I'll get that there. Possible, but we'll see. Just looking for kind of a 240, 250 kind of bunt 3-wood up there. Club face was open, that's gonna fade. That'll probably miss that bunker right. Don't hit the car path, stay there. Man, we got 247 out of it, but that club face, as soon as I hit it, that thing was wide open at impact. It's gotta be, I must just be, without even realizing that I'm doing it a ton, I must just be flipping my wrists on the takeaway. So when I'm starting my takeaway, instead of keeping my wrists in the club face, kind of looking at the ball more, like I was talking about before, I just gotta be just ripping it inside and opening the club face way up, so by the time I'm coming through, apparently everything besides driver, by the time I'm coming through, no matter what I'm doing, the club face is still just open. Gotta do square it up better with both clubs, but it's kind of the opposite. I gotta open the driver a little bit and shut all the other clubs a little bit, I guess. Leaves us with 52 out of the rough. Are we short-sided? Probably. So it's a 50. Oh, we're on a downslope too. It's gonna be a 56. And I've been practicing with this 50-yard shot with this. The problem is I gotta open this up a little bit, launch it a little bit higher because of the downslope, and we're short-sided, try to get it to land soft. And it's a little bit of a guessing game of how much I need to open it, how hard I need to swing. But let's see if we can guess somewhat right here. Hit it decent. Hopefully it's not too much. Oh, we got it right. Sit. All right, just outside the circle, but that's about as good as I can ask for there. Take that par for sure. Almost clawed one back there. I think that little bit of downslope killed some of that spin and didn't get it to land quite soft enough, but I launched that pretty high. That was pretty much exactly what I was trying to do. GSPro, I know it gets cut off from the video, but the speed on that one, so basically the power was 87% and the spin was only 72. because of the rough and the downslope and everything else. So a little bit more extra rollout on that one. But 3 over through 8, 9th hole, par 3, 204. Cool. All right. Looking at this flyover, we got water and it's pretty much all carry. So if there was a lot of grass and fairway in front, I would probably go 6 iron, but we're gonna go 5. And if I blast it 10, even 15 yards over on a good strike, so be it. But I want to be dry. Actually, pin is in the back. I'm gonna go 6. We'll go there. Looking at that, I thought if the pin was in the front, I'd hit a 5 just to get it over, but we do have some room. There's probably about 15 yards of wiggle room over that water, so as long as I get it to about 190 with this 6 iron, a little bit chunky, a little bit toey. Should be dry though. Go. Alright. Kind of like what I said, 188, just shy of 190, but at least we're dry and we kind of got it there. Tried to keep the club face a little more shut on that one. On the takeaway, seemed to help a little bit. That was just a poor strike. Caught it a little chunky, a little bit toey. Got a chance though to save par. 18 yards. We're on an upslope. It's going to come out left. Start of the green here is sloping from right to left, but then it looks like it flattens out over there. So we'll just aim a touch right about there, and try to fly this about 15. Don't hate it. Oh, that lipped out. That lipped out. A little bit scuffy again, drop kicked it just a little bit, but I mean that was right on line. That literally, unless I didn't see that correctly, that looked like it hit the right side of the cup and lipped out and kind of kicked it a little bit left, but we'll take that. 3 over through 9, onto the back 9 we go. 10th hole, par 4, 441. Take a look at the flyover, double check the camera, which should be still rolling, and it is. Wow, we're at 40 minutes. Seems like I'm playing a little bit quicker too. I did start it maybe 3-5 minutes early. So your view time is probably closer to 35, but still, I thought this would be a little bit quicker. I mean, we're only, I'm what, 3 over? It's not like I'm playing terrible and taking a ton of shots on every single hole, so. Still, I guess, too much talky, not enough swingy, golfy. There's only one person that's ever said that. That was one comment I saw when I was in Florida. I just kind of said, thanks for the comment. I don't know if you're watching or not. You guys, the other people that engage more with the channel, the more loyal viewers that I've come to know and love over the past 2 years. If you guys do think he's onto something, I need to shut my mouth a little bit more and play more. I could definitely do that. It just feels like if I'm out here, I'm trying to kind of make things as entertaining as I can and kind of talk through this versus just kind of mindlessly and robotically not saying anything and just hitting shots. No one wants to see that. You could just mute it then if that's the case. You can mute the video and I guess fast forward through it if you really wanted to. Alright, at least that one was square, but that one's gonna fade. Better though, at least it wasn't a kind of a snap hook left. 149 ball speed, 106 club, not terrible. What did we get on that, 280-ish? Yeah, 280.5. Sounds about right for hitting the short grass and not having a ton of shape on it. That was a decently struck ball. Again, in Florida, I was hitting some, I still, like I have my average set here. I probably average, I mean, tough to say my true average. I've never really done the math when you pop one up 200 or you hit a worm burn or 220. But then I feel like on the halfway decent strikes. I averaged about 260, 265, and then had actually a decent amount into the 270s, 280s. I think my best one there was 295, which was on Rick's scramble video over at Golfing the Villages. Go check that one out. It was on the back nine. Hit one 295 total. Leaves us with 158 up 4, so about a yard. And I was debating, it's kind of in between a 9 and an 8. But considering the pin is tucked in the back over there, I'm gonna go 9 and kind of play the percentage game of hitting the green versus trying to fly it exactly there. And if I hit the 8 good, that's off the back. Thin, it's gonna fade, we'll see. Short right. Not, just actually pretty close to the middle of the club face. It was just a little bit thin. Not swinging down on it enough, compressing it the way I should be. Leaves us with 25 in the fairway. It's gonna come out a little bit left. What's the green doing up there? Sloping that way, or at least at the beginning. I think I'm just gonna leave. I guess I'll go a little bit that way. 25 up a yard, so I gotta fly this 22, 23. I think. That may need to sit. All right, it's set. Again, tough with this artificial mat. Caught that a little bit chunky, it felt like. It could have been a good strike, I don't know, with just turf interaction of the sole because I had it open, but I felt like I caught the mat a little bit and it kind of just skips the club into the ball. I feel like a little bit of a drop kick. Got it to work though. It's close to what we needed. So 3 over through 10, 11th hole par 5, 5, 6, 3. Definitely, Rick posted both the front and the back. We did an 18-hole scramble. Go check that out. But we played together. What was it? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days in a row. And we were, a lot of the times, we were just kind of matching each other shot for shot for the most part. We were within usually about 5 or 10 yards off the tee when we both hit them decent, which is pretty cool. He was getting sometimes, there was one day he was hitting it really good. He was hitting it about 280, 285 every single time. That was also when he was just hitting it good. I wasn't hitting it quite as good. He was also using the premium, the Pro V1s that he uses. I was using my ladies Precept, so I think that was probably part of the discrepancy. But there were a lot of shots where we would hit the ball and we'd roll up to our ball, and we were within like sometimes less than a club length of each other off the tee. Left. Wow. That's did we go so far left? We cut the corner? Oh no, never mind. Oh, kind of. We might be able to aim over there. There's one for you. Smokes. I may have to link one for him. I saw him, I don't know, the comment disappeared, but I saw him, he wrote a comment. I don't think I had time to respond before he either deleted it or something happened to it, but he asked if the Garmin ever registers a shot over 1,000 side spin, and that was left. I don't know if it was that far left, but 21.2 spin axis to the left is a lot, and it had it just over 1,000 side spin. So there you go, Smokes Sim Golf. There was a over 1,000 RPM one. So I think I can aim this way. Where's the ball? The ball's there. The hole goes that way. 289. I'm just gonna hit 3-wood up here. I mean, we kind of hit it so far left, it kind of opened things up a little bit, and we kind of have a window. That was definitely left. Could be a slight misread. If that Garmin actually picked that up accurately and that was exactly what happened, then realistically that was probably like 2,000 RPM to the left. feel like that may have been a little bit overdone based on how that felt, but either way, that's a pretty substantial side spin to the left. Hit it pretty good. 146 ball speed on a 3-wood. It's gonna get caught up in this rough, but that's about as clean as I can hit that. I mean, we hit it. I think we were in the rough. Yeah. So 93% speed or power out of that last shot. I got 255 total. So we were out of the rough into the rough, and I got 255. That was a pretty solid strike for my 3-wood capabilities. And despite that pretty horrendous tee shot, we set ourselves up here. We're only 34 yards hitting 3 into a par 5. So in the rough, 10% would be 3. So it's like 1.5 yards, up about 2. So 36, 37. It's gonna come out left. Probably gonna fly that right around that 34 number and then have it roll out just a couple yards. So we're gonna go 60. I'm so used to playing it. I was playing it back here to kind of drive the ball lower, but now with the net further back, I can kind of give myself some more room and open things up. Slid under it a little bit too much. I think that may need to go. Go. All right. If it stays there, I think it's a par. I knew as soon as I hit it, slid the club under just a little bit too clean, popped it up, probably had a ton of spin on it. All right, sticking 3 over, 12th hole, par 4, 392. What do we got? Dogleg left. Still hot and humid. My shirt's almost completely soaked again, but it's actually not too bad. There's a little bit of a breeze with those thunderstorms coming through, and it's nice and hazy, so this blocking the sun is actually pretty comfortable. Helps that I'm hitting it halfway decent too, but enjoying this round so far. We'll see if that continues for the next one, if I don't get rained on. Ooh, down 16 yards. All right, if I can hit this like that other one, 280, this has the potential of being 295, 300. Not that one. That was kind of high toe. It's gonna fade. Still gonna help with that 16 yards, but it's gonna be into the rough. 287. And we kind of got a bounce too. Not the best there. Wow, that was 150? That felt like a pretty high toe pop-up. Surprised. Must have been swung it just a tad quicker. I mean, that was what, 106, almost 107 on the club, allegedly from the Garmin, and 150 ball speed. That's not bad for how off-center that strike was. Out of the rough leaves us 116. It's gonna come out right, and I'll probably fade it. So we're gonna aim here. 116, 10%, so it's gonna be 6-7% out of this rough. 10% would be 11, 12, so half that, about 6 yards. I'm just gonna go, that puts us to about 121 or so, 122, somewhere in there. I'm just gonna go pretty full approach wedge. Hit it pretty solid. Should be. Huh. I mean, that was strike location height-wise on the face, like low and high was pretty good. It was a tad toey. It is a 51 degree. It felt like it kind of popped it up a little bit, but that's kind of what you want, have a 51 degree. Thought that would have gone a little bit further, but we'll take that for a par. onto the 13th we go. Par 4, 4, 5, 8. Come on, baby fade. Well, it's gonna fade more than a baby fade, but 152 ball speed. Those last couple, I loosened up my grip a little bit. I do have a tendency of depth gripping, so to speak, the club more than I should be. It should be, especially considering I'm wearing 2 gloves. Should be able. You should. I guess the rule of thumb is to grip the club like a baby bird. They say, like you're holding a baby bird. Last couple, I kind of loosened up my grip just a little bit. It seems like I'm hitting a bit quicker with higher ball speed. Maybe I need to think about doing that more in the future. All right, semi-rough, that's gonna be 1%, 174 up 2, or 178 up 4. Brings us to 182, 1% is not a ton. So we're gonna aim here and just go a solid 7-iron. I pulled that left and it was a little bit chunky. Hopefully it fades though. Oh, it's seemingly fading a ton. That's gonna work out. Sit. Hit pretty solid though. Maybe figuring some stuff out here. A little bit more closed on the takeaway. A little bit looser grip. Those last couple are working out. All right, another par in the books. Sticking at 3 over. 14th hole par 3, 204, up about a yard. So we got 205 total. Let's take a look at this flyover together and see what's up there. It's at the upper end of a well-struck 6. Pin is in the back, so that means I can hit it not ideal with the 6 and still be on the green. If the pin was in the front there, I'd probably go 5 and play towards 210, 215-ish, but I think this will work out with the 6-iron. If I hit it good, it'll be right in that ballpark. If I don't hit it great, I probably have about, again, 10-15 yards of wiggle room to work with. A little bit chunky, wasn't hit terrible though. Ton of fade though. 11 spin axis to the right. Was a little bit toey, but thought that would have resulted in a little bit better of a shot. 28 yards left. Got some green to work with. It's gonna come out left. We're on an upslope, which is good. 2 yards up or so, so 30 yards. Probably gonna land at about 27, 28. Account for about 2-3 yards of rollout or so. Pushed it a little bit right, maybe a little bit too much too. Distance was good. It was right though. That works. Par. Pretty steady eddy throughout this round. Could all go down the tubes here as soon as I say that, but relatively happy with how I've been hitting it so far. Felt like too I've been hitting it decent enough to get birdies out of some of these. I thought that may have been one, but I wasn't keeping track of my strokes. In any event, 3 over through 14, 15th hole, par 5, 516. Don't love that tree there off the tee. I keep creeping up my ball speed, the way I have been these last couple, 155, even towards 160 may be in the cards if I really step into one. All right, we got that tree there. Luckily, I'm gonna play the fade so I can aim a little bit this way, or at least try to play the fade. As long as we get past this first tree here, kind of to the right side of those forward tees, if we can get it up and around there, should be all right. Oh, that was way right. Yikes. Are we gonna be able to play out of here? That was horrendous. I swung it at 108.5. That looser grip is working out, but that club face was, plus I hit it out of the toe. That club face was just completely open when I hit that. That started right and stayed right all the way. Not displeased about almost 109 on the club though from the Garmin, considering I also, like I've been saying, I think that's low. So that possibly could have been in the neighborhood of 112, even 115. I don't know exactly how low the R10 is, or at least my setup. I know some people, they've done comparisons against the high-end units like TrackMan GC Quad, and depending on how they set it up, the R10's right there with the ball speed and club speed. I think mine's low considering, like I've said before, I've used a high-end overhead unicore unit at an indoor place, and I think I averaged 112. So like the poor ones being, the slower poor swings being like in the 90s, high 90s, with like my top end ones when I really stepped into them being into the 120s, and I averaged out at 112. Whether those are a little bit too high, I don't know, but somewhere between there and what the Garmin reads, I think, is probably about right. All right, upslope out of the pine straw. Let's see if we can hit a good 3-wood out of here. It's gonna fade, but it was hit pretty solid. Almost 105 on the club speed, 147 off a 3-wood off the deck. This is gonna be decent. A little too much fade on it, but note to self, grip the club a lot lighter. I'm seemingly picking up about 5 mile an hour club and ball speed by just gripping it a little bit lighter. I think I kind of got some enthusiasm and a little bit of adrenaline going because I'm hitting it better and swinging it quicker. That's probably helping too. And I'm hitting decent shots, so I kind of have some more confidence going. But that was the only thing I really changed. You guys saw the numbers before, and then once I started gripping it a little bit lighter, I've been picking up that speed again. So leaves us with 34, pretty flat. I'm actually going to go, usually this would be more of a flop type of 60. I'm actually going to go my regular 56 and try to play my 30-yard shot. Just because we have green to work with, I can launch a little bit lower, have it run out a little bit. This would be the type of shot that I would usually play on course, and I played a bunch with Home Tee Hero. That's got to go a little bit. All right, got it there. Pulled it a little bit left. I didn't think I hit it quite solid enough, but those lower launches run out a little bit more. We'll take the birdie for sure. Brings us to 2 over. This has turned into a pretty good round. 3 holes left. 16th hole, par 3, 178, down 10 yards. So we're at 168. Let's look at this flyover. What do we got up here? Where's the pin? Pin's in the front. So 168 total. That's a very upper end, well struck 8-iron. And considering I have the pins in the front, I got room in the back, I think I'm gonna go 7. Gotta do a better job. I've been trying to do it here recently, but I gotta do a better job on course too of seeing where the pin is and playing towards the fat part of the greens and not trying to hit it exactly to the number of like where the pin's located. So like 7-iron, if I hit it good, it's possibly gonna be off the back. But if I don't hit the 8 like very, very solid. That's going to be short. I'm going to be chipping off the green versus the 7-iron. If I hit it even halfway decent, puts us on the green. Started left, should fade. It's fading a ton. Well, I don't know about those. I mean, that was a decent strike. It was toey. Maybe the club face was a little bit open, but it feels like the takeaway, I'm focusing on that a little bit. Didn't think that would be that much of a spin axis, considering I started that left too. I didn't think that was gonna fade quite that much, but let's see if we can scramble here for a par. 19 yards out of the rough. We're on a downslope too, and it's gonna come out left. Yikes. So we're gonna aim here, and I gotta launch this pretty high and land it pretty soft. 20 yards. We gotta land this probably about 18, 19, and just basically have it sit. We'll see what happens with this downslope. Has a chance. Oh, that was close. All right, that's a bogey. That was close to what I was trying to do. Just a couple yards too much a carry. Realistically too, considering I'm not using RCT or anything, Garmin's just estimating the spin. That one I felt like I launched pretty high with a ton of spin. That may have hit and came back just a little bit, but it is what it is. It was only 65% spin out of that lie. So to 3 over we go, 2 holes left, 17 hole, par 4, 397. Can we hit 110 on the club speed? I'll probably, yeah, we got water on this one too. Depending on what the 18th hole looks like, I may really step into one on 18 and see what happens. This one, I'm not going to try to do that and blow up the score with a decent round going. We're going to aim there, just kind of do what I've been doing. 18, if things are open, I'll give it a run. Club face was open again. 103, 148. Is that the fairway over here? Is that like a split fairway? Sit, 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 sit. Into the rough, or semi-rough. All right, leaves us with 111. That's kind of been my miss on course too. That club face too far open, kind of high spinny one to the right. That's why I was kind of perplexed about those first couple that I was snap hooking. Kind of overcompensating, finding myself in a constant state, like I say, of overcorrecting too far one way or the other. All right, 111, down 5 feet, which is like 2 yards. Ooh, and we're short-sided. It's gonna come out right. We're on a downslope. All right. This is not the easiest shot in the world. So I'm going approach wedge, and considering that last one I kind of popped up and came short, I'm just gonna hit a pretty full approach wedge and make sure it's dry. If I hit it well, this is about a 125 shot or club with a full approach wedge. We'll see. Should be in the neighborhood of that. Too much. That was hit pretty good. Alright, at least we're dry. I'll take that. That was what I was trying to do last time. That one, a little bit better of a launch. Launched it a bit lower, shut down the club face, tried to hit down and flight it a little bit lower. That was a pretty good strike out of an approach wedge. I saw the raw carry as it was ticking up. 109 raw carry, 116 in the game, 120 total. Out of the semi-rough, I think it was. But, alright, shot 3 into this 4. So inner circle, we're looking at a par. Hole out, which is kind of unlikely. But so the green is sloping a little bit. It's going to come out a little bit left, and the green's sloping that way. So I'm going to go maybe just like a cup left, 9 yards. Probably going to fly this. It's on a downslope. Fly this about 5 or 6. that has a chance. Go! Let's go. Let's go. That's a bird. I called it too. I knew they had a chance. Alright, folks. Well, and we got water here seemingly, but very happy with how this round's been going so far. Figured out a couple things in the swing, I think, and we're playing halfway decent, hitting it decent. We're 2 over through 17, 18th and final hole. Looks like there's water, so I don't know about swinging out of my shoes. Maybe you guys will have to tune in for the Renaissance Club one. If I really open up driver and try to swing harder, try to get up into the 110s for the club speed. But 18th hole, I didn't see what the yardage was. This is probably either a long 4 or a 5, water all along the right, so I can't get too ambitious here off the tee or even second or third shot, trying to keep things dry. So just kind of best that I can. Don't want to take too much off it, but kind of hit a fairway finder. So it's a par 4, 426. Gonna try to hit a fairway finder up the left, and even if I duck hook it, rather be left into that stuff than if I leave it open right into that water. So that was half off the crown. That sounded terrible. Oh boy, off the cart path too. Yikes. That's not how we want to hit the final tee shot. Are we in play? Oh no. Oh no. That is very tough. Got 287 out of it because of the cart path bounce. Man, so we're gonna have to re-hit. So I hit it OB. Oh. There goes the scorecard. That sucks. Completely self-inflicted, terrible swing. We're gonna do the same thing. That sucks. So we're 1 in, 2 down. We're hitting 3 off the tee. Well, we need some magic here. Man, that's tough. How quickly things can turn. That's a low worm burner. That might be out of bounds too. Let us play from there. Alright. That was probably the 2 worst driver swings of the day on the final hole. Maybe a little bit nervy with, felt pretty good about how this was going with a decent score. Now we're having epic collapse going on the 18th hole. Alright, so we're hitting 4 after that tee shot. Off the tee, we got 234. We're in the pine straw, which I think is like 6%. I didn't look last time, and this is not an easy shot to hit here with water. So we're gonna bail out that way, and it's suggesting a 4 hybrid, which is exactly what I'm gonna hit. First time hitting this today. Come on, 1 good 4 hybrid, stick this green, play for a little bit of that fade, get out of here with a bogey or a double with a 4-5 over, something like that. A little bit thin, has a chance though. Oh, bounce and stay up. Alright. That's actually not terrible, I'll take that. If I hit that a little more solid, that would have got there. It may have still run off the green, but at least that was close to what I was trying to do. Leaves us with a little bit of a tester chip here. Hitting, what are we hitting? 5. So inner circle for a double. Hole out for a bogey. But we're in the rough. It's going to come out right. We're on an upslope. I'll aim there. 13 yards. 14. 13.7, 14. Got to fly this about 11, 12, I think. That's got to go a little bit. Yep. Slid the club underneath it, chunked it a little bit. That's a triple, I think. Oh, that's a tough finish, but all in all, still pretty happy with that. Yeah, we got a 7 on that to finish. That's a tough way to end it. Well, the scorecard was pretty good. Besides, we got a double on 2, and that final hole. Besides that, we were piecing together a pretty rock solid round, at least in my books, from the furthest back tees at a course like this. So, from Keene Golf Club in Nicholsville, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Championship, going on from July 11th to July 14th, same time as the Genesis Scottish Open that I'm going to be playing right after this in about 5 minutes. But 39 on the front, 38 on the back, and man, that 38, that could have been a really, really good score. We were what, 1 under on the back going into 18, and then triple it for a 38. But 77 total, 5 over, still pretty good. Take a look at the stats: 10 pars, 3 birdies, no eagles, 3 bogeys, 1 double, and then that triple on the last one. Longest drive 289, average drive 274. I feel like I was swinging a little bit better. What's this though? I had some in the 150s. Why is that not the best? I think the best one I saw was like 153 ball speed or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Average ball speed, that's pretty good, 147. That's at least a little bit more up. But the best ball speed, I don't know why that didn't quite register. I had a couple in the 150s, I thought. Not sure about that. But 28 putts, that's actually not too bad. Over an hour, so my goal of being around an hour or under did not happen. Greens and regulation, despite I thought I was hitting it decent, 33%. That's not great. Want to be at least 50%, ideally 75 plus. Same thing, even worse with the fairways, 4 out of 14. Although some of those drives, for the most part, feel like I hit the driver pretty decent. I was getting some good distance on it, and some of those were just into the rough or semi-rough. But 4 out of 14, would like to be a little more down the middle, so 29%, that's not great. The handicap for this course in that round I just played was 2.2, and my average handicap within GSPro of all the rounds I played is still all jacked up at negative 83.6, which is very not accurate, and still don't know how to fix that. Anyone in the comments? No one's left a comment of how I can fix that. If anyone knows, any GSPro savants out there. I deleted the one scorecard that was it was like a negative 577. I deleted that and I thought that would do it, but it's still all jacked up. So if anyone knows how I can go in and try a couple different methods of how to get rid of that, let me know. Not that it's a huge deal, I would just like it to be more of an accurate representation of all the rounds I played versus a very unrealistic handicap. But in any event, also I'm not sure that ball speed, the best one should have, like I said, should have been in the 150s, but I don't know why that didn't quite get that. Maybe the raw, I don't know, maybe the raw number from the R10 isn't quite the same as what GSPro registers it as. Don't really know, but in any event, 5 over 77 from Keene Trace. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Feel pretty optimistic about how I just played, so have some good momentum, it feels like, at least going to this next round I'm going to play. Didn't get rained on, still looking hazy, getting a little bit more foggy out, so hopefully sometimes I've noticed when there's more moisture on the ground, if I come out just after it rained, or if it's hazy and foggy like this, there could be some more misreads on the next round, but we'll see how that goes. But gonna wrap this one up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out those Amazon links. Any of the items linked down below, like I said, or just if you do any of your regular Amazon shopping, like I said last time. Great way to support the channel at no additional cost. Doesn't cost you guys a penny extra. And if you think about going to order anything on Amazon, if Hosel Rocket comes into your mind, if you associate buying something on Amazon with Hosel Rocket, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys just click one of those links and then go through with your purchase of whatever you're going to buy. But like I always leave you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next course.